Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am going to work on Project Life Week 11. This is going to be a quick one because I've already done pretty much all the hard work. Over on my Patreon page in our last monthly live stream, I spent a couple of hours getting rid of the last of my rounded corner Project Life cards. Now, I don't mean I spent 2 hours dumping cards. I mean I spent 2 hours transforming those rounded corners into square-edged corners so that I could use those cards and wouldn't just keep them stashed away in a drawer in the hopes that one day I might change my mind about whether I could mix rounded and square corners. I know I can't. So this is one batch of cards. I think in the end I ended up with about 41 different cards, both 4x6s and 3x4s. I split those cards into two kind of kits, or at least two different piles based on the colors. You can see here I've just gone out to grab the second pile of cards that I had. I wanted to check that there were none in there that I was going to use before I committed to these ones, because I was having a little bit of difficulty kind of balancing out the photos and the cards this week, because as you can also see, very few photos for week 11, very few photos indeed. So I did one big enlargement. I've got a screenshot of me and Jack FaceTiming, and then I've got a very poorly lit photo from a little crafty catch up that I had with my Patreon gang, and that's about it. It was just a really super busy week at work, and documenting my life definitely kind of fell off the radar a little bit. So balancing all that out, I've got a photo enlargement, which I've done at 6x8, and I've also decided to leave two of those 3x4 slots for kind of a little bit more kind of list journaling this week. I knew that when I had made these cards, I had made that pair that says more or less. It used to be a 4x6 card, and in removing the rounded corners, I've kind of trimmed them down a little bit and they became 3x4s. So I decided this would be the perfect kind of opportunity for using those two cards, because I've got enough room. I've got enough room to fill up this week. So I've added those in there, and the rest was kind of just about balancing out that super large photo, which is, I guess, in comparison to the rest of the spread, quite a lot darker. So balancing that out and balancing out a lot of the words, because I've also added in this do something today, do something for you card, which I'm going to add my little craft night photo to, and then I've got just this two photos. So it's all about balance this week, balancing words, balancing photos, and balancing colors. And so that's what I'm attempting to do. And you'll see while I've been kind of, chatting away here, I've been doing a lot of that kind of balancing. So trying things out, trying them in different positions. I haven't committed to where my 6x8 photo is going to go so far. And by committed, I mean I've still got two 6x4s, because that's how I print my enlargements. I just do that through Photoshop and print out two 6x4s on my photo printer. And then when I've decided where I'm going to put it, then I will end up having to cut one of those 6x4s into two 3x4s. So I haven't done that yet, because I haven't committed to whether it's going to be at the bottom. Usually I would put my photo enlargements on the top right, but I didn't love the way that the two 4x6 cards were sitting down the bottom, because there's very similar sized photos and a whole lot of words. So I'm just playing at the moment. I decided to go back and work on my title card just to get a little bit. This is probably the last kind of card that's going to have words on it as such. So I need to add my title just so I can work out how to balance the rest of those wordy kind of cards. For that particular word, I went into my stash and picked out these really old thickers. they're not exactly sort of craft colored. I was trying to mimic that craft card with the photos of me and Jack on it. They're not exactly craft colored. They're like a very light wood grain, but it reads almost exactly the same. The other option I pulled out was some very old Kelly Perky sort of teal alphas, but they were just far too teal, far too bright for this kind of quite subdued in the end page. I am adding a little bit of teal though, just by adding one of my printable labels, and I'm just tucking that onto the edge of the card. There was very little in the way of kind of design that needed to happen because that stripe was already there from where I put the cards together. Now, because I normally do my journaling on my typewriter, and these cards are the more or less design was from Studio Calico, and then it's got a pattern in behind there, so it's a double layer thickness card. There was zero way I was going to be able to run that through my typewriter, so instead I just typed out my journaling on some vellum, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just adhering that with a bit of glue stick onto the white space of that card, being careful not to rub my typing because it's definitely not dry yet. That became like the easiest solution for getting typing onto here because those cards are so thick. So I'm pretty happy with how everything is balancing up. I think I am going to leave my my larger photo down the bottom here, so I can go ahead, commit to that. I'm going to trim those out. I just trim them slightly smaller than 3x4 so that they fit into the pocket. But when I do that, I make sure that the piece, it's about what, an eighth of an inch that I'm trimming out of there. I make sure to trim that from the middle of the photograph so that the two edges of those 3x4 photos line up with the two edges of my 4x6. Now, a lot of this I've been, the only really embellishment that I've been adding to these cards and photos is stamping. And once again, it's just a kind of stash dive this week. So I've been diving into some old, I've got Kelly stamps, I've got Citrus Twist, I've got Feed Your Craft. There's a whole lot of stamps going on here. These ones here I stamped directly onto the photo with my Moonlight White Brilliance ink. The rest of them I've just stamped with Tuxedo Black, just straight onto the card. I'm going to add just a few little pops of color with some very old puffy sticker hearts from Feed Your Craft. They had the most kind of the closest to this color scheme, sort of with the teal and the craft. I'm using teal and these little khaki yellow kind of, it's, you know, definitely a muted yellow. It's the closest I could get to craft colored. I'm just going to add a few little hearts in a few little places and then call this spread done. So I told you it was going to be super quick. That's the beauty of having these cards already prepared. I wanted to keep them a little bit more on the minimal side, and I really love how this came together despite having hardly any photos for the week. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. If you were interested in seeing how these cards came together, don't forget to check out my Patreon. We did get up to all sorts of fun things over there. The link is down below in the description, and I would love to have you join us. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye!